in the D.C. Uh, after the traffic died down, and I could come back after the traffic died down or before it picked up. Like if I had a quick run to do, because I came into D.C. almost every day, so I'd come and do what I have to do, and I'd either wait till the traffic died down, because on 66 it'd be serious out there. So anyway, but Nahidian would get into little conversations, and he would, now Imam Ali, it is that, and then now, don't that make sense? Shoot. Now here's the thing. In the dunya, Islam, the first thing that you learn, you don't even have to learn it, it's just natural. If somebody pat you on the back and tell you what a good friend you are of theirs, watch out. Everybody just know, right? You just know. Oh, so after a while, I went back to California, and they was helping doing some work on the Masjid over there. Because when we bought that building, we remodeled, we put in new heating and air. It was really a nice, well, you remember, it was a pretty nice little place, So anyway, at that time, it still is. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't need nothing but the floor. Anyway, no, it's people be complaining about that. I said, okay, I'm not, it don't bother me. But anyway, so they said, well, we've run out of money, So I said, okay, I'll send you some. So I sent him $10,000. Now for a Negro, that meant that they got, he started looking at me different, because everybody else here thought that if I was out there with him, he was going to be manipulating me like he was doing everybody else. Yeah, like people I could mention, that everybody knows. Okay, so that personality, the last time I was at that masjid in Manassas, was they had a program in February, and it was late February, well, mid-February, because the revolution, usually the programs on the anniversary of the revolution are around 11th, the first, on that, or the other one before it, So they asked me to come out there, and when I got out there, everybody was there. So it's not an offbeat program. And I was just recuperating. I was just getting my balance back. This was early February after I had, all of that stuff. And I was just, and so they knew where my head was at, because I'm trying to get them talking about Mazia Hashimi. I'm saying, what about the brother? And then they got enough sense to know that if for over 30 years I'm holding their hand and putting them up on what the U.S. will probably do against them, and it's coming out right for all of those years, hey, they, what do they think Boss Man was going to do with me? Like I told him, I said, suppose you was in Iran and you was going to the American embassy or something every day, openly working with the people that's against the Islamic Republic. What do you think the Islamic Republic would do to you? I said, now what do you think that we've been working together? This is 40 years now or more, right? and the main one on the line and the one giving out information that's helpful. You know what I mean? Actually, you're a watchman for them. You kind of looking out for them. And everywhere you go, all your speeches and lectures have that blended into it. And this is how boss man act, and this is what happens, da 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 da. And we push in Lebanon at the same time. And so you think boss man is what is he gonna think about that? He's gonna hate it. And what do you think he's gonna think about me? That go along right with the package. And what do you think about me appearing in all of these pictures in Iran? And Bennett didn't start then. This is the 84. You don't think they got all of this stuff? And the Rahbar, there ain't no Negro in the world. Well, I mean, in the world, they got the Sudanese and people back here, but not a Negro with a picture hanging out with the Rahbar. And they know it's more than that going on because they know who's who and what's what, right? I mean, think about America. If here's Muhammad Ali and here's the people and come to see him, and we done fattened his pockets up, when he was really in need, and the people don't call and say, hey man, we need somebody to do his janazah. They call people that have nothing to do with nothing. They are stage actors. Stage actors, right? Yeah, they're stage actors. And that's everybody is singing that song. When people get out of prison, when people do this, that, and other, there's a don't go see him. And they can't go see, there's nothing they can do. They can't do it. Who wants to go back to prison after being in the pen for 30-something years and everybody coming to see you is the police? You kind of feel it, but I know it. When I was in Oakland, I'm going to see so-and-so. You want me to tell him anything? No, ma'am. Nothing. I got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you. Okay. The points I'm making to you, our dear Iranian brothers, is this crew that's here now, when we had that last program in San Francisco about 4 years ago, didn't nobody from the from the immediate Bay Area came, except one guy. He came, and it was a cameo appearance. But that's where we started everything. Those 9 counties in the Bay Area, they met in our masjid all the time until they moved out to San Jose and got this big show out there. And then all of a sudden, nobody's interested in Imam Musa. But years ago, they had a credit card on for me, on their name, where I could go spend I just rented cars with it, But we're so close that they got me on one of the leaders, he got me on his, I could go down, I got a doggone American Express. I could have wrote anything I want onto there, because what was the limit? I never knew, because all I did was rent cars. Why? Rent cars to go around. And all they paid for was the car, not the gas, not the whatever else, you know what I mean? But that's the way, it was a lot of work to do at that time. And so that was the work that had to be done. And I did it. I did my part. I'm ashamed of the behavior of the people who are left here in the United States, both here in D.C. and both in California. And it seemed like it's a national thing that a few years ago something happened, and all of a sudden Imam Musa is persona non grata. And it didn't just start, it's been going on, because I have a friend who, well, I'm not going to get too personal, but I was talking about the situation. This is years ago. He says, well, I can't tell them to do certain things. I said, well, you're the big chief. You could tell them whatever you want. They got to do it. You're the chief. Over here, you could imagine who that was at that time. And he gave me a certain amount of money. I'm surrounded by a boss man then, like now. It's probably about the same now as it was then, because it was ironclad. You know, they call it in the dunya, wake you up and put you to sleep. Boss man, he gonna wake you up and he gonna put you to sleep. And if you stir around at night, like if I go out and happen to stretch, there they are. It's okay, I love it. Because you managing your environment, and other people, it makes them feel uncomfortable. But anyway, it's very difficult to find people that will explain to you their environment that you are in and how to escape or how to minimize the damages to you. Okay, as the years go on, people really begin to appreciate that. They appreciate it from the very beginning. And if you looked at it as your job to protect, let's say, call it the system of Walayati Faqih and the people you're working with, no matter what the race was. Example, we was in LA and I can understand how Iranians feel because down in Houston, in those days, they spent $3 million on a big, that used to be the headquarters of free Islamic literature, which meant Shia literature in those days. And all the Ibrahim Yazdi, all of the big brothers was not technically down there, but that's where they distributed their literature from. And so it was a group of Negroes. They was, as soon as it first came from Ohio and other places, and they landed in Houston. By the time I started coming through in 82, they had ruined all of that money that they had fronted to it was, and they drove me by where it was a big, it was fruits, markets, and all of that. They gave that to them to develop. And then they blew it. And then they was telling me, yeah, we're not going, I'm not going to go around giving no more speeches, because I said, well, it couldn't be too bad because they bought that for you and they did this, they did that. And then the way I was looking at it was y'all blew it. Other big money things. There was always discussions, especially places like LA, where we need economic stability. So it was all kind of schemes coming up. So at one program, we was talking about to the UN ambassador and talking to the Negroes. There was one thing like this on frozen fish. It was a thing. Iranian fishermen catches tons of catfish. Shias don't eat catfish because they eat according to the biblical, there's some type of crabs and stuff. They don't, man alive, Now everybody else, they eat all catfish. You go to Nigeria somewhere where all the Muslims are, they'll beat your arms off of you. That's catfish, man. What you what you running off with my catfish, man? That's anyway. All the other Muslims, right? They eat them, and they eat whatever. If it come out of the ocean, far is halal for them. I don't care what it is.